Hey, welcome to Game Dev Weekly. If you're new here, I'm working on Hydroneer, a mining game where you dig for gold and other resources to build massive mining machines. This week, I've just released 0.7 update to all the Patreons. It's going down really well. I'm super proud of this version. I think a lot of people are enjoying it. And if you want to try it out for yourself, head over to the Patreon link below. For a minimum pledge of $2 a month, you can jump straight into the latest update. However you want to wait until the Steam release, there's also a link for that down below so you can add it to your wishlist. I'm really excited to show you guys some of the new stuff that I'm going to be working towards on 0.8. I've had a great time working on this game, and I feel like it's really starting to tie itself together as a full game. So I'm going to start off this week by showing you some of the stuff that I missed out on last week's video. So I've changed the way that Anvil looks when you're making things, so when you actually click it, you can see that it has the requirements as well as the item on it. I've also added jewelry. So right here you can see this necklace requires 2 gold bars and 1 random gem. So let's just chuck a couple of these in the fire. And then we'll use a ruby for this one, so I'm just going to place that down there. These look hot enough. Put one there. And one there. And then, there we go. So that's basically the last bit of the 0.7 update. So now what I'm going to start doing is working on the 0.8 update. So here we are in the editor. We're just above the rig store in this forest land. And basically what I want to do is, in a couple of updates, I'm going to completely remove the rig system and make an entirely new one. So what I'm going to be doing is, for the 0.8 update, is I'm going to be removing all of the rig pieces from the store. So what I'm going to be doing here is just removing everything from the store, so you can't actually buy it anymore. It's just these rig pieces, and then when the new system comes in, we won't have to use this old system, which, to be honest, it just didn't really work out. It was a cool idea, but the execution just wasn't good enough, and I don't feel like I want to go forward working on it anymore. And these items are basically just the meshes made into interactable objects. So when you actually click one, then it spawns the object. And we can, for the next update as well, we can use this store for something else. So looks like we've got them all. So yeah, we're just gonna delete that. Great, some empty shelves. So yeah, that'll be something nice in the future. Something that I do want to mention now is the 0.9 update. So the one after the one that's about to come out is going to be completely new. It's going to have a completely different map. So a lot of these places right here will just be completely destroyed. I think I'll probably start fresh completely, do an entirely new map. I also want to widen the roads because the new rig system will be more drivable vehicles, and these pathways will probably be a bit too small. I think I'll keep the nice castle in the middle of the map, but then again I'll be doing things like fixing textures that are stretched like these ones here, as well as probably changing the way the foliage looks as well. I am happy with it to an extent, but I think it could be a lot better, especially maybe like if the trees were bigger but less of them. I think that might look quite cool, some kind of like tall pine trees instead of these ones. So I've been doing a little bit of work, and it's time to show you guys what I've been up to. This is the ram drill. You may remember it from a very long time ago. It's pretty much one of the first items that I actually put into the game, and it's going to make a comeback. I did actually take it out because it was a bit too powerful, but now the game, it's kind of perfect right now for to have something like this in. It's a very early game automation unit, and basically what it does is it intakes water. It has a ram that moves up and down, and that pulls dirt from down here and puts it out this chute right here. This is the old model, and I will actually be making some changes to it. I'm not a big fan of how it looks right now. I think a lot of the other models look a lot nicer, as well as these dials that are on the side right here. I'm not a big fan of them. I think having dials that don't actually do anything is a bit misleading to the player and sometimes can be quite confusing. So we've got 2 of them right here rigged up to this pipe network. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you the difference of speed, right? So we've got 2 of these pressure tanks right here, and they're going to be increasing the water pressure, while as this one over here doesn't have any. So what's happening right now is the one on the right is going a little bit faster. I think I do need to improve it a bit more though, because it is going quite slow. What you may notice down here is when these pieces are falling out, they're actually bumping into each other and creating bigger pieces when they combine. I think that's quite cool. What we're going to probably do here is have some conveyor belts, so then as soon as these dirts come off of this, they head over to the conveyor belt and then they move along to the end. You can see this chunk has actually turned into quite a big one right now. So yeah, it still needs a little bit of work. We also need to make sure that the conveyor belts can integrate into this properly. Also, aesthetically, we do also need to change the model as well, so that's something that I'll be getting on with this week. You also got to remember that these machines, they are very early games, so that means that they break down quite a lot, and they'll also produce some very low quality dirt. In the future, what we'll be adding is kind of like a step up from this machine. That'll be a lot more expensive, but will be faster and be able to pick up higher quality dirt. Something that I also want to quickly show you is this construction hammer tool that I've just added. The way the construction hammer works is when you look at an item that is placed down, like any of these pipes, and then you use it, it'll actually freeze those. So right now I cannot pick up this piece or this piece here. You can see they don't highlight either. This was a feature that was requested by quite a lot of patrons because they were getting frustrated by pieces that were falling on the ground and then you can't pick them up and you accidentally pick up the floor instead, stuff like that. And I think it's a lot nicer too, because then you don't have the outlining shape, which can sometimes get a little bit annoying. To unlock them, it's pretty simple. You just hit it again with the hammer and then you're able to pick it up. Since this next update is going to be all about like kind of automation and machinery, I think it was a great update to actually throw this one in. This is going to be, and hopefully a lot of people are going to enjoy using this. Alright, and we're back. What I've added right now is some conveyor belts. You may remember from the last video, I've made these basic conveyor belts. I do need to work on them later on. They're not 100% finished, but for now, we're just going to see if it works. I've also got a new model for the rams, so they just have kind of like different feet. They look a little bit different. They're a bit tighter as well and a bit smaller. I think they look great, but they work pretty much the same. So what we're going to do is turn on this one. This is the first test, so I haven't actually tested it yet. Okay, so it seems to be working alright. Obviously they're not going all the way to the middle of the conveyor belts, which is slightly annoying. We can either fix this by kind of giving them some velocity when they come out, or maybe moving the exit port up a bit. I think probably we'll do the velocity option, because that'll just be a bit easier. You can see right now they're kind of falling off. But, I mean, this is a good start anyway. You know, they are actually falling onto the conveyors, which is nice. Still haven't fixed the speeds, so obviously the one on the right should be going a little bit faster, but it's not. I also want to get rid of how the pipe kind of just pushes water up the end of the conveyor. That's kind of annoying. Overall, the system's almost there. Just a few more of these little tweaks, and I think it would almost be ready to go. That's going to do it for this week's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. Again, if you want to check out the game, head over to the Patreon link below. Minimum of $2 and you get all the updates for the entire month, and you get to keep anything you've downloaded. Also, check out the Steam link below as well. Add it to your wish list. That really helps out. A big thank you to all my Patreons. Really appreciate your support. I couldn't be developing this without you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.